What's going on, my PT peeps and my Walking Dead family? Welcome to the PT channel. I'm One Eye Bri, back to talk about The Walking Dead Season 9, and I got some information regarding The Walking Dead Season 9 Episode 2. Spoiler warning, major spoiler warning. If you don't want to know this information about Season 9 Episode 2, I definitely suggest that you stop watching now, because these are highly likely to occur in the episode. Again, I got to go with potential spoilers because you never know how it's going to air on Sunday, but it's highly likely to occur. And before I get to the spoilers, I got to do a couple things. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel to become a valued member of our Walking Dead family here, and also photo and info credits to these fine folks, photo credits to AMC and The Walking Dead, and info credit to the Spoiling Dead fans. Summary for episode 9.2, The Bridge, from the Spoiling Dead fans. The episode takes place 35 days after Gregory's hanging. Rick and members of Hilltop, Kingdom, Oceanside, and the Sanctuary are all teaming up to repair the bridge. They have a campsite set up nearby. The episode jumps back and forth between the bridge, campsite, and Hilltop frequently. So the opening minutes video was going around online, and we have a breakdown of that. But it's kind of crazy that we're getting another time jump 35 days later after the end of Season 9, Episode 1. So we had an 18th month time jump from Season 8 to Season 9, a 35-day time jump from Episode 1 to Episode 2. So we might be getting another time jump, supposedly, from Episode 905 to 906, which may happen. Bridge and the camp. Aaron talks to Daryl enthusiastically about Gracie. He even suggests that Daryl would make a great father someday. Cue death glare from Daryl. I can just picture that. Justin, the salty savior, played by Zach McGowan, tries to drink more than his share of rationed water and knocks Henry down. Henry gets back up and hits Justin down to the ground with his bow staff. Daryl steps in to protect Henry. It's fight time. Rick and Daryl have a chat inside a tent with Carol present. They butt heads a little bit. This is where we see, are we on the same side? You tell me, scene with Rick and Daryl. Justin's already annoying, and I haven't seen the episode. I have to make the comparison to Jared because that's what this guy seems to be. Another pain in the butt, but this time there's no Negan or Gavin or anyone to stop Daryl or anybody from beating him up or hopefully killing him. I think Justin will be the one that frees Negan, but that's just my thought. I hate the fact that he pushed down Henry. I don't even like Henry that much, but Henry is basically team family, and I don't want to see some long-haired punk pushing down a kid. I'm glad Henry gets even with him and knocks him down with his bow staff. That'd be pretty badass if Henry actually killed Justin, but we'll see if that happens. And I think big things are in store for Henry this season. Daryl versus Rick continues on. Rick wants to save these people. Daryl wants to get rid of them and eradicate them. And I'm on Daryl's side. I'm on Daryl and Maggie's viewpoint. I'm not a big fan of pain in the butt saviors. You shouldn't just kill all the saviors, but Justin's got to go as he could be pretty dangerous. Hopefully that happens, but we have to wait and see. I just don't want another Jared. Ann and Father G are totally crushing on each other. Ann even paints him a picture of the lady with glasses. Remember her? Hello, callback. There's a herd approaching the work area that needs to be diverted. Rosita and Arat are setting off explosives to help with this. Also, the group has strategically placed 2 handy-dandy crank sirens in areas to draw walkers away. Jerry mans one of the sirens. The other siren never turns on and causes problems. There's a horrifying accident with logs caused by a savior that leaves Aaron's arm crushed and looking like hamburger meat. His arm can't be saved, sadly. Surprisingly, Enid is actually the one that eventually amputates Aaron's arm. She's not just background noise anymore. She probably learned from Sadiq, and that's what we saw in the first episode. She helped Sadiq with Ken, so Enid is learning some medicine from Sadiq. Very cool. And I think this is the picture right here that we saw in the trailer. Definitely looks like the woman that we saw back in Season 5, back at the food bank and everything where Father Gabriel was all messed up, when you really didn't like Father Gabriel back in Season 5. But you kind of like him now. He's come a long way, and I like that about The Walking Dead. We've had some ups and downs with characters, and Father G is one of those. Aaron is definitely going to be comic Rick, at least the look standpoint. The beard, the haircut, and now that he's going to lose his arm, probably the forearm, just like Rick. So that makes sense that we're getting a comic Rick to the show. A lot of people are always asking, when are we going to see Rick lose his hand? Is Rick ever going to lose his hand? And the answer is never. Aaron's going to lose his hand, not Rick. This is probably where and when it happens. You saw this from the trailer for episode 902. I feel bad for Aaron, but at least he's still alive. Walkers are now everywhere, and the group bands together to fight. Rick uses his rifle to shoot a rope that is holding all the logs together. All the logs go spilling into the walkers. We learn that Justin was supposed to turn on the other siren to help divert the herd. I hate that Justin guy already. Daryl goes back into rage mode and he fights Justin again. This time he's using a skillet to beat his ass. Carol steps in to get Daryl to stop. Rick kicks Justin out. "If I ever see you again, stitches won't fix what I do to you," says Rick. Rick visits Aaron, and they have a heart-to-heart conversation. Father G pulls some smooth moves on Ann and engages in a short and sweet makeout session with a former trash queen. So we'll see what happens with Father G and Ann, but I want to see Daryl kick the crap out of Justin, and we're all going to be like, kill that guy, he doesn't deserve to live. But the fact that Rick just kicks him out tells me that he'll be around and probably another pain in the butt. Carol asks if Ezekiel still has that proposal ring. He reverts back to king mode, ready to make a speech, but Carol shuts him down. Carol asks to try on the ring. All signs point to Carol accepting Ezekiel's proposal, although it's only implied and not voiced. They smile, and yet I smile. Hilltop. Back at the Hilltop, we see Maggie, still a farm girl at heart, outside breaking a horse. Michonne stops by for a visit and informs Maggie that the sanctuary sent out ethanol last week, but it hasn't arrived. The sanctuary trades fuel for food with the Hilltop. Michonne asks Maggie to go ahead and send food over to the sanctuary. Maggie initially refuses. No fuel, no food. And I have to say, I enjoy Ezekiel and Carol together, and I think they complement each other. Ezekiel is corny, he's over the top, but Carol puts him in his place. Carol's not messing around. I could just see Carol just be like, quiet over there. Come on, no speeches, nothing of this, just give me the ring. We'll get married. All right, sounds good. Let's move on. And just Carol is awesome, and I like Ezekiel and them together. Maggie and Michonne are definitely at odds with each other. Maggie's going to have a little change of heart, but I think Maggie is tough. Maggie's not messing around. What do you want her just to give food for nothing? They have the reserves is what Jesus says, but Maggie's no dummy. If Maggie keeps giving them stuff without being paid, she's going to end up on the wrong end of the deal. She ain't no sucker, and why is Michonne sticking up for the Saviors so much? Be on Maggie's team a little bit. Show her that she's on Maggie's side. Even if Michonne wants both sides to work it out, make Maggie feel that you have her back, and you'll see that she'll help out with things. Michonne and Maggie need to work together, not against each other. Earl is in Hilltop prison. Tammy wants to visit him, but Jesus won't let her under Maggie's orders. He eventually talks to Maggie about this, so Maggie relents and lets Tammy see him. Tammy and Earl share a very tender moment, which makes Maggie tear up a bit. Maggie visits Earl alone, and they talk about his past with drinking. Eventually, after listening to Michonne, Jesus, and Earl, Maggie decides to let Earl out of jail. He will work under supervision to pay his debt. She also decides to send food to the sanctuary. When Michonne asks her why she changed her mind, Maggie alludes to her father and how he drank, but got a second chance. Gregory had chance after chance, but never changed. And I like that Maggie is referencing Herschel's drinking back to season 2. We found out about that. And I like the interaction with Tammy, Earl, and Maggie in this season 9 premiere. And it shows me a lot about Maggie leading tough decisions, because it would be tough. Maggie's got a lot on her plate. She's running Hilltop, which is the most successful community out of all the groups, and I feel for her. Earl, Tammy, I think Earl is a good guy, but losing their son, that's got to be tough. He's a blacksmith, which is very important in this world right now. Alexandria. Rick is visiting Negan in his cell. Rick talks to Negan about how the communities are coming together. Negan tells Rick that Rick is just getting the world ready for him. So, of course, Negan is playing a tough guy, and I don't miss Negan at all. If we don't see Negan to the very end of the episode, I'm okay with that. But you know Negan is going to get out of his cell. But how, when, and why? My hypothesis is that Justin lets him out. I'm not sure where Justin's going to go, maybe back to the sanctuary, and I just have a feeling that Justin is going to be the person to let Negan out and have Negan run the Saviors again and just be the way it was. The Saviors are probably pissed that they lost the war. Well, not the workers, the lieutenants and the Saviors that need to work now. And to me, the Saviors are pretty useless. Negan is charismatic, and we'll see how he gets out. If he gets his comic connections with Alpha and Beta and the comic people, you know what I'm talking about. And some people get pissed that I talk about the comics, so I won't give anything away. But what do you think, guys? How do you think Negan gets out? So that's pretty crazy about The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 2. Aaron is going to have his arm crushed. Is he going to lose his hand, his whole arm, his forearm? How are they going to do that? He's going to look like Comic Rick. It's It's going to be awesome and sad at the same time. I feel bad for Aaron, but I think this episode's going to be pretty entertaining and pretty awesome. A lot of people want more action. I think there should be a lot of action, a lot of fights, a lot of craziness, a lot of disagreement, and a lot of problems setting up for the rest of the episodes this season. So there you go, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. If you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed yet, please help us achieve our goal of 100,000 subscribers. If you love The Walking Dead, this is the channel for you. And remember, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it.